travel for a year, I would take all of the pressure off of my shoulders.
Got time, I make good meals. Go ride, I take two wheels. Come bring you that good feel. I don't have trouble keeping days full. I don't wanna sell 5, get 2. Always on time when the rent's due. I don't wanna grind just to get through. Tryna spend mine like a bitch.
Last week, we anchored in the remote Puerto Escondido, where we sharpened our knives and put them to use. We also got in some extra practice anchoring.
I'm Emily. This is Will. And that's Lou Dog. And we live on our sailboat Appa. Catch us every other Wednesday on YouTube. And welcome to the Sailing Bison.
Emily and I have spent the past 4 weeks exploring the Loreto area of the Sea of Cortez. In that time, we covered 100 nautical miles and visited 6 anchorages. Now, we are making our way back towards Escondido, where my sister and niece will spend their spring break off-grid with us. Leaving Puerto Escondido, headed to Honeymoon Cove. Today's kind of a fun one. It's our 30th trip since moving aboard onto the boat. And this is our first time ever going to an anchorage where we've already been there before. Really not too bad for 30 trips. Emily's going to go to the front. We're going to sail off anchor. Escondido was an excellent place for us to spend our final days away from civilization. We were well protected from wind and waves, with plenty of room for swinging. And when the time came to pick up our guests, all we needed to do was hoist our sails and point south. With winds building out of the north and the Anchorage Channel southwest of us, this was another great opportunity to sail off of anchor. At this point, we have successfully sailed off anchor a number of times and had a pretty decent rhythm between us. The new factor this time were the 4 other boats anchored close around us. In the list of things you don't want to crash into, other boats is pretty high up there. So with the pressure on, Em and I dialed in and brought out our A game. Emily managed raising the anchor on the appropriate tack while I handled the mainsail and steering. Anchors up and we were off, weaving through a tight pack of other boats. As we cleared the final boat, they yelled out to us, "Very impressive." Hot damn, that felt good. Now sit back, relax, and enjoy a day sailing downwind with us. Well, I hope you enjoyed that relaxing sail, because we are back in Escondido and there is a lot of work to be done. Our very first guests are coming in to stay with us, and the boat needs to be in tip-top shape for their visit. On top of that, we need to provision for the 6 weeks that we'll spend off-grid after their trip. So here's the game plan. Clean inside the boat, clean outside the boat. Top off on diesel, top off on gasoline. Pump out the holding tank, empty the trash. Top off on water, reprovision food, reprovision drinks, and do our laundry. All right, buckle up. because here we go. Hey, what the hell's going on here? That doesn't look like the grocery store to me. Wait a second. That looks like our good friends Ryan and Molly. What are they doing here? Oh, wow. Look at how beautiful that church is. What we're looking at is Mission San Francisco Javier. It was built by the Jesuits in 1699. The purpose of the mission was to convert the native inhabitants to Christianity. The location was chosen due to fresh water available nearby in Las Gigantes Mountains. What say ye?
It's cute. I like it. The ceilings in there are really pretty.
By 1701, less than 2 years after its creation, the natives, known as Cochimi, revolted, and Javier Francis abandoned the mission for his own safety. I wonder if the locals knew they were chasing out what would become a literal saint. The Catholic Church persisted, and over the next 100 years, they continued to operate the mission on and off until the native Cochimi people were officially declared extinct. The church is now maintained by Mexico's National Institute of Anthropology and History. It is known today as the crown jewel of Baja California missions. No one speaks of the native population it destroyed. All right, now it's time to get back to work. Yesterday's adventure to the mission was great, and now we have to accomplish all of our tasks in half of the time. Emily has a new worksheet that is helping us provision more accurately. This run is the first big test of it. We decided to re-provision on drinks first thing in the morning. Then our guests would join us in the Mexican grocery stores as we re-provision on food after they land. It was a good thing we split provisions because the dinghy was full and heavy. Emily went back to the boat to store these goods away while I went to the airport in search of our guests.
Just nonstop, I would visit different places and learn from different cultures, eat different foods, and witness their dances, learn about their spirituality, and what love and family mean to them.
Since you moved your vessel before the date January 1st, 2024, you are not liable for personal property taxes.
Woohoo!
Woohoo! Be wary when buying boats in California.
Say no to the tax man, and you too can be like me.
We had a wonderful time with my sister and niece. The weather held out, nobody got seasick, and there was plenty of wildlife to enjoy. It seems Emily and I needed a vacation too, because we didn't record a single frame of it. We look forward to them coming back on board in the future as we continue traveling the world.
We also owe a huge thank you to Emily and Macie for bringing us all the snacks. So good. Peanut butter M&Ms, excuse me. The best.
With our guests headed back to the States, we craved adventure. We prepared the boat and left Escondido the very next morning. Catch some fish.
And then I always forget that they're like ultra super carbonated, and I go to put it to my face and end up either sniffing in all the carbonation and sneezing, or it like builds up in my mouth while I'm trying to drink and I end up choking. Nailed it.
Emily slipped the mooring line, and I motored us out of the very narrow channel. Our destination, Honeymoon Cove, was only an hour away. But it feels like a whole different world compared to the pomp and circumstance of living near a marina. The weather was in our favor, with light winds from the north and slow rolling waves following. Sails out, motor off, we made the short hop to our home for the night. Have I mentioned how great the sailing is here in the Sea of Cortez? In the spirit of adventure, we decided to anchor in the most difficult lobe that evening. This anchorage, albeit beautiful, is so small that we needed to deploy our stern anchor to avoid slamming into the nearby cliffs. With great risk comes great reward.
Yeah, so I think poor Will has a torn meniscus, and he is kind of on bed rest as much as a sailor can be for the time being. So I do a lot of running around these days, so it gets a little hectic. But we managed. We did just fine.
We think. Time will tell.
Time will tell.
And, of course, now that we're securely anchored, we needed to take our trusty steed to his favorite place, the beach.
Alright, we are getting ready to make our way out of Honeymoon Cove for at least the third time. We're going to try to make our way as far south as we can over the next north, as far north as we can over the next 5 weeks while we wait for Mitch and Christine to arrive in the beginning of May. We're going to meet them back here in the Loretto area, so we're still going to be around here, but we'd like to see some things, some new things. So we're going to try to go a little further north than we have before. Yeah, from there, we might try to pop into Isla Coronados. We haven't been there yet either, and the beaches there are supposed to be really, really nice. But yeah, Will is getting the covers off everything in the cockpit, and then probably within the next hour here, we will get a move on.
Join us next week as we begin our 80-mile jump north. We visit the nearby tourist attraction island and take in some quiet moments before our action-packed days of sailing.